but there is no attractive or sexy. Science says, or at least it states, human beings are identified by hormones, chromosomes, and all that. And when you say sexy, figure 8, that is a metaphor. And now that belongs to the psychological world. Like we say, 10 years ago, I was 13 years old. Right now, I am 23 years old. Biologically, time is needed for me to grow. Right? For me to have a conversation with someone, for me to know that I need to eat, for me to walk, for me to write, for me to converse with you. So time is needed biologically. But psychologically, time has no place. It only breeds conflict. So attractive and sexy is a metaphor that belongs to the psychological world. When attractive and sexy is applied, it needs to communicate a sentence that delivers a perception in a biological world. But we use it in a psychological world for it to give us a sense of belonging, deserving, believing, feeling. Right? And unless we have that sense of she's sexy, I see her or I perceive her that way, I will be in conflict with myself. But we said, you understand her in that lens because you are in a psychological world. And analyzing takes time. And we are saying there is no time. Time has no place in the psychological world. It only belongs to the biological world. The kid needs time for the kid to walk, to talk, right? To converse, to listen. The suffering is not biologically. It is psychologically. And that sense that I have to. That is the suffering. That is the chaos. She rejected you. She never gave you a chance. She dumped you because you have a problem. And that is the sense. Now you have questions. What does that do to you, Isaac? It broadens up the feeling that you belong. You have a problem. It broadens up that suffering. But time was created for the kid to survive in another country, to learn, to have a different language. The kid must be aware that the sense of belonging is just an illusion. The mind has to be free first before biologically you can work out things effortlessly without conflict, without suffering. The mind has to know that the sense of I belong, I must, I have to is just a simulation that is so deceiving, and you will believe it. Right now, men have a perception of attractive women, right? A specific perception. That perception is the sense for every man to suffer. In this whole life, man has never been free unless he has a wife, unless he has a church, unless he relies on religion, unless he relies on a side chick, unless he relies on a mistress, unless he can never be free. And it's not a reality, it's all a sense. You need no one. Once your mind is free from the psychological torture, perceptions, and illusions, that is where freedom is. You can involve, you can engage, you can work, you can be in your offices with freedom. But you think, or at least we think, if I am so stressed, maybe I was using more energy at work. The only thing that can take away this stress is the mistress. That sense is the torture. The moment you walk away, you will need to get yourself another Hannah. Now you're trying to control your perception. After 40 years, you're still... You go to the gym, you work on yourself, you have 6 packs. And then all of a sudden, women start approaching you. They want to have a relationship with you. If I tell you that, you have to stop thinking that women want you because you are going or you have been going to the gym and you have 6-pack. That will be childish. Because I'm telling you to control your mind. If I tell you to meditate for 30 minutes to be okay, that will be childish. I'm telling you to control your mind. If I tell you to stop approaching Hannah because she is attractive, that will be childish. Because I'm telling you to control your mind. You control your mind for 40 years, you end up in conflict and torture within yourself. Because nothing makes sense. The mind is controlling it. It's trying to control itself and how it perceives the reality. That is the trap. After 40 years, you're still suffering. You have a problem. What's the way forward? We are inquiring together and following together to find the answer to the conflicts that we create, to the power that we are giving out, to have more freedom. Man is always seeking significance in his life. You might be socially active. You might have all the women you want. You might find them attractive. You might be in politics with your friends. You go party, you have a conversation about politicians. You might have fun with your male friends. You might have your lady around, right? You might be in politics, you might be a politician. Talking about politics, passing time with that. One thing still stands in your existence: loneliness. You might go have fun with your side chick. I don't care. Do you? One fact stands: the loneliness still exists. The engaging with the one you call sexy, with the one you said she walked away, she's just in your head and you can't get rid of her. You can go have fun with her, you can talk to her, you can have a longer conversation, you can write a wider paragraph on that phone and then send her. One thing still exists: loneliness. And we are all agreeing to this. Does writing the paragraph solve the loneliness, Isaac? Does responding to her calls in text solve the loneliness? No, it broadens up the perception and the sense that her existence will solve the loneliness. That is the torture in the psychological world. Because the truth is, Isaac, we are never alone. We are not alone. We are the result of 1,000 influences. Again, we are the result of 1,000 influences in our life. If they can influence you, you are the result to that. If you identify them as sexy, you are the result to that. Politicians, priests, sexy, attractive. We become this one object that relies on a perception of different influences. We are the result of that. So we are not alone, so we second-hand human beings. Because here's the thing, Isaac, when one is totally alone, doesn't belong to the nation, doesn't belong to the society, doesn't belong to their friends, doesn't belong to a certain culture, There is a sense of an outsider. I can't just be alone, right? And we need to see the crack in that first before we have a conversation with our friends, before we engage in something with our sisters and brothers. Because the moment you think you belong, you call your ex, you call Hannah, she doesn't pick, and then she disappoints you because you belong and she belongs to you. Who said that? She belongs to you, she's yours? No. See the crack in that first. That is when you start living now. Right? We are inquiring together. Are you following this? Because this sense of I belong and she's mine, this is the disease. I must feel. That sense, it is the disease. Though you may have a girlfriend, though you may have a wife, though you may have what? A side chick. Though you may have a family. When there is a feeling of I don't belong, I don't have, there is a sense of an outsider. Though you may have them, if there is just that feeling of she never picked, she never replied, she texted. Analyzations, hypocrisy, scrutinizing yourself, right? But the thing is, it's not that serious, Isaac.